All right, let's talk about resampling. Okay, so resampling means sampling a sound and then running it through effects, then sampling that sound to create a new sample. So some of the tools we use in resampling are audio samples, a sampler, a DAW, effects. These are the basic things we use for resampling. And this is the magic sauce that a lot of producers use to create really fat sounds. Sampling cool sounds and then taking those sounds and changing them around, using them in creative ways. These are all the things that if you're listening to really kind of cutting edge music, these are the tricks they're using. So let's make a new session here. Okay, so I've got this new session. And what I'm going to do here is, let's just start off with some kind of standard drum kits. So we're going to go over here, drums, and there's let's use the CR78 drum kit here. I'm just going to record a awesome, super basic. And so we have that little bass right there. Actually, that even might be too active. So let's go ahead and cut out some of these notes here. And what I'm going to do is to cut out some of these notes, I'm just going to go ahead and highlight them and hit the 0 key on my keyboard. So now, that's probably a little bit better. Okay, cool. And now, let's go ahead and use a cool let's run it through some multi-effects processors. So this is a good place to start, especially if you have Complete. And this is one of the reasons why I recommend that everybody gets Complete. Hold on one second. Sorry, I forgot the AC was on. Probably super noisy for y'all. All right, so one of the reasons why I recommend grabbing something like Complete from Native Instruments is because it comes with a bunch of really cool stuff, and one of the things that it comes with is Guitar Rig. Now, Guitar Rig is not my favorite effect for guitars, but it is a really cool effect for everything else. Oh, I haven't turned this one on yet. I just installed Guitar Rig 5 on this computer. So I haven't. It's gonna take a second to do that. So one thing with Guitar Rig or any kind of thing that's a multi-effects processor, especially the one that has amps and distortions and stuff in it, one thing you have to make sure you do, and this is super, super, super important, is always, always, always put a limiter effect after Guitar Rig, because what happens is some of the sounds are really quiet and some of them are really loud. And I always set my ceiling, if we look over here, I always set the ceiling for -10 dB. And that way it's never going to get super crazy loud. It's going to like kill our ears or something like that. So that's what's going on right over here. You can see right there, -10 dB. Okay, so we have that there, and this is still going. Nope, it's okay. We're done. So I've got this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here to Effects, and let's go to Reverbs and Delays. And if I click on this now, down here, there's a whole bunch of different types of like reverb and delay sounds and stuff like that. And we're just going to listen to stuff and go through it. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and set up an audio channel. One thing is when you're making new effects and new sounds and new resampling stuff, always be recording. Just always be recording all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and name this. We're going to name this one perk loop bounce. I always name it bounce, BNC bounce, and I'm going to grab it from my kit over here. I'm going to name this one perk loop, and I'm going to name this in here perk loop as well. There we go. Cool. So this is the perk loop bounce, and we're going to grab the way we set this up is the same way we've been setting this up all along. Go to audio from and go to perk loop, the name of the track we just named, and I'm going to go to post effects because I do not want my level here to be affecting the level of the recording. So I'm going to hit record in here, and I'm going to go. Now, you can hear that sounds amazing. Why does that sound so good? Are we not playing? What's happening? Oh, wait, what happened? Let's see. Okay, that was nothing. Hold on one second. Why are we not hearing you? Something. Oh, weird. Okay, doesn't have any recording in here right now. All right, well, let's just re-record that then. Not sure why that happened, but whatever. We can change that. Okay. Oh, wait, what happened? Ah, we're all the way over here. Somehow we went way over there. That's what happened. All right. There we go. We don't have to record anything. It's already there. Cool. Okay, cool. So now, I'm going to hit record on this. So we're always going to be recording these sounds that are coming in. And I'm just going to flip through my sounds. And I can use my arrow keys and hit return. It's a pretty cool sound right there. It's another cool sound. And this is a very, very pitched sound. It's got like a lot of, it's a very strong pitch. So we want to mess with that pitch later on just to make sure it fits the key of the song. Now we start to get into actual delays. Now let's change this around so we're not just messing with that kind of a sound there. Let's go ahead and let's stop that one from playing. Let's go ahead and use, instead of these sounds here, let's use the rim. Let's just turn this one off for a second and hear it. And when you're doing this, you have to do a lot of experimenting. Okay, there's what my original sound sounds like. I'm going to put a little bit of rhythm into it, because right now it's just super straight. There we go. Cool. So we got that there. Go ahead and hit this record button here. So we've got the straight loop there. Turn this back on. And if you know how these things work in here, you can go ahead and mess around with some of these as well. Like here's my input here. Mess with that, or I can just go ahead and try a different preset. Cool. And there's some pretty cool sounds here. Right. Now, so we got these in here recorded in. I'm going to just go ahead and stop this. And we've got all this different material recorded in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set up a simple kick and a snare drum type of loop. Bass drum and snare drum. And we'll use my, actually here, we'll just do this. So we'll just separate it now. This will be my bass drum, and we'll grab an 808. There's the 808 sound. Stop that for a second. Here's this one here. Duplicate that track. I call this one snare drum. Go ahead. Right. Put that one in there as well. Now we're going to use these loops that we just made here to make that more interesting. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my loop here, and this is where Ableton Live gets really, really cool. I'm going to change this loop here. The length, I'm going to set it to just a 2-bar loop. And now watch this. I'm going to click on this bar across the top and use my up and down arrows for stuff to move it around. So now I can move it around. When you use the up and down arrow keys, it moves by its own loop length, like that. And I'm going to go over here and I can move left and right by using, like in 1-bar increments, by using my arrow keys, left and right arrow keys, or up and down, moves it by its own loop length. So now, right, and see how much cooler that sounds than just like a normal rim shot. And because I recorded so much data, what I can do is duplicate this out. And let's go ahead and play from here. Right? And now what I would do with this one here, you can see there's all this stuff going on in here. Well, what I would want to do with this is probably go ahead and hit Command U to quantize this part right here. And now all the stuff we've learned already, go back over here to this transients, make sure we're doing the transients, make sure we've got it set like this, turn that down to about halfway. And all these here are set up. Let's go ahead and put these into 16th notes so they're fitting nicely. And you can see here's one that doesn't have a transient on it or a warp marker. Got that there, that there. Just moving these around, setting these up, and messing with this stuff here. Boom, boom. Yeah. Let's put that like that. Cool. So now, there we go. Cool. What does this one sound like? Okay, and this one here might also need... Oh, was I messing with the wrong one? I was messing with the wrong one. Whoops. Let's do this. Oh, that's super annoying. There we go. That's better. Okay. Alright, actually this one works since I'm clicking on the correct one. Just turn that up a little bit. Cool. Right, and you have these like sounds that are like sounds that nobody else really has. Yeah. Oh. Okay. And that's basically resampling here. Now, if I want to take that a step further, what I would do is I'd take this one and throw this back into a sampling instrument. So let's go ahead and hit Command-Shift-T to make a new MIDI track. And I'm going to take this loop right here, and I've cleaned it up, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click on it and hit Crop. So now we just have that one part. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to drag it down here where it says Drop Instrument. And now I can actually go ahead and slice this one up. So if I slice this one up here, and I have these cool sounds that I just made, right? And I'm just playing it in. Now it's playing it in. So I took the sample from here and I put it into a new sample, a simpler instrument using all the stuff we learned in the first part of the class, and then replayed it. Yeah, cool. And all of that came from this one right here. Let me just solo this out so you can hear it. All of that like that little basic sound became this one. Oops. And this one. Right, so I have this stuff here. Let's pull that down. Let's pull this one down like that. That one by itself as well. Like this. And then let's take one more. So we have them all like that. Let's put a little gap in there so you can just see it better. So now I got this. And I have these little parts done. Right, and really quick, I've got some cool sounds here. So this is resampling. This is what resampling does for us. Let's go ahead and take a look at the notes real quick. So and just go through the steps with the notes, and then we'll come back and we'll resample another instrument here. So resampling is sampling a sound. Again, we've been running it through effects, then sampling that sound to create a new sample. The tools that we use in resampling are audio samples, the sampler, the DAW, and effects. Any kind of effects that you want to use are fine, but some effects are better than others, and you'll learn about these as you kind of go along. So we got that. And then resampling step by step. So here's a step by step for how you resample. Start with a sound triggered in a loop. Usually it's going to be a 2-bar loop. It's better than a 1-bar loop. And don't let the effects overlap. And I'll kind of come back to that and explain that in a second. Then you can add an effect directly to the track. This is different from how I usually talk about using effects. Usually I talk about using reverbs and delays on their own separate tracks as like a return track or a synth or an aux track or something like that. And that's the right way to do it for normal mixing. But we're not doing normal mixing right now. What we're doing right now is specifically resampling. So what I almost always do, unless I'm smashing a few different sounds together, I always put the effect directly onto the track as an insert effect. For atmospheric sounds, use reverbs and filters. For rhythmic sounds, use delays. For the weirder the effect, the better. Or the weirder the effect, the more interesting it will be. But keep in mind that crazy effects will be really busy. So if you want things that you can add in into groups and kind of build stuff up, you don't want it to be super, super busy. For static effects like reverb, freeze, and flatten, or go to step number 7 or 11. I mean, I do produce, I just don't. It's mostly house music these days. So create an audio track and route the signal to it, which is what I just showed, and we're going to show that again. Then assign controller knobs to interesting effect parameters. So having interesting effect parameters really makes a difference, like routing your knobs to it, and I'll show you that here in the push here in a second. And then record on the audio track, record the audio while playing with the parameters, set up a loop in the newly recorded audio clip. Then use the up and down arrows to scroll through the audio until you find the parts you like. Then option drag the clip to make copies. Keep searching for more cool loops. Mix the sounds into your song. If you want to trigger the clip with MIDI, drag it into a drum rack or a simpler instrument or a new MIDI track. And that's basically it. I mean, I know that's a lot of steps and there's nothing really basic about it, but that's it. It's just 11 steps. So let's go through these again. Let's go ahead. We'll use this as a starting point. A barbecue with skateboards. Nice. Slow motion skateboards. Right. So we have this here. What I'm going to do here, let's solo this out real quick. Okay, if you're using headphones, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this, I'm going to take it so it's not so far out to the sides. I'm going to stick it and bring it in a little bit here. So I'm going to use the utility to do that. So I'm going to go over here to my audio effects, go down, use utility. Oh wait, I've got a utility on here. Silly me. and bring that width more into the center here. There we go. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and put a piano sound in here. And I'm just going to use a piano that comes with Ableton Live. I'm going to use the Ableton Live effects here so you can hear the sounds that come with Ableton Live. So we've got the pianos and keys. Let's go for here. Put piano in here. And we'll use the, wait, not that one. Cheap electronic piano. And we'll just use a grand piano here. So I'm going to drag that on here. And now just use that loop. Cool. So I got these notes right here. And now let's put some effects on them. Let's go ahead and put a reverb on this. And now I'm going to use let's use the Max for Live reverb. This is the Pro. There we go. Oh, I have two reverbs. Not sure why I have two set up for reverb here. Must have been late at night. Okay. So we have this one here, and now what I'm going to do is put that all the way wet. And let's go ahead and let's see what we got here. Modulation. I'm going to go ahead and put a delay on here, and the delay I'm going to use is the Echo, and Echo is one that comes with Live Suite. This reverb, convolution reverb also comes with Live Suite. What happened? Cool. All right. All right, that's pretty cool sounding. Okay, so we got that sound there. And now I'm going to put a filter on here as well. And the filter is mapped to my push. Here we go. Here's my push. Straighten that out there. Okay, so that's pretty cool, but I want to show you how this would sound differently if we have it running through our send effects over here, the return tracks. I want to have a little bit more control over the sound. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put all these effects over here on the side. So I'm going to go ahead and make two new return tracks. And this is just so I can have a little bit more control over the sound of the effects here. So I'm going to put the convolution reverb over here, and I'm going to put the echo over here as well. I'm going to take this piano and I'm going to send it to both of those. And the echo is going to go into the convolution reverb. Cool. And now my filter will go on the echo. Turn that down a little bit. Right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to record just the reverb and the echo. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a new track, and this is where things start to get a bit more complex. So you really have to kind of use all the knowledge that we've talked about so far, and you have to like really think about this and pretty deep. So we've got here, I'm going to call this one effects group. It's not the word effects, that is here, piano effects group. Boom. So I have this, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to send both of these here to that track that I just made, piano effects group. Mod audio in. Now let's listen to this. And let's put this filter actually on this one here. And now let's just record that one. Just this one. We're not going to record the original piano sound. And what I could do is I could set these up for pre. So what we're hearing is just the effects. I can set it up like that. Or I can just solo out this piano group. That's probably better. So now we're going to take this one here, we're going to make a new track. We're going to call this one Piano Effects Loop Bounce. And audio from is going to come from our piano effects group. Go to monitor in, hit record over here, and I'm going to be on this track over here recording all this stuff. So I'm going to start all the way up like this, resonance down. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and hit record. Oh wait, sorry, before we do that, we're going to go to post effects. And real quick, let's just throw a limiter on here so we don't get any kind of over. I'm not going to change the limiter, I'm just going to keep it right here at minus 0.30. I'm not going to do anything with it, I just don't want it to clip. So here's this, okay, good, so we're ready to record. So now that's doing its thing. So I'm going to come over here, I'm going to show you what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these knobs up here and start messing with it. And I'm recording the audio of everything that I'm doing right now. And I'm just going to record that tail. Now, while that's doing it, let's say, wow, I'm kind of liking this sound here, and I want to record this a little bit more specifically. Remember, we talked about multi-samples the other day and doing multi-samples. So yesterday we talked about multi-samples and recording different notes. And what if I wanted to grab the sound here a little bit more specifically? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and record. Here, let's do this. Let's make this twice as long for each one. And so each, oops, here we go. Now each hit is going to be 1 bar long. And I'm just going to divide this up. And this is if you get lost here, that's understandable, because this is, we're getting advanced now. This is not, we're not in beginner world anymore. And what I'm doing is I'm actually recording each one. This is a piano, and this is C6. And this one here is C5. This one here is, here, let me just show you in close up what I'm doing. This one here is G, whoops. This is G5. And this one here is G4. Now, if you're wondering how I'm doing these like so fast without like too many clicks and stuff like that, it's because I have keyboard shortcuts set up through a separate program. This program over here called Keyboard Maestro Editor, and you can see I've got a bunch of shortcuts set up for Ableton Live to do different things. So I can copy the track title, paste the track title, set the color, rename the track title, which is using my function keys here, and I can also put inserts in without actually doing too much stuff too. So if you want to know more about that, you can hit me up and ask me, and we can talk about it. So now I've got this one here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to let it play this one. I'm going to mouse over with this. There we go. Cool. Oh, that's okay. That's the wrong one. Okay. All right, cool. So I can play this one. Okay. So now what I'll do is I'll go in here and I'll say, all right, and I'll record this in. Let's see, can I make the echo play for forever? Yeah, I can make the echo feedback like this. Is it going to feedback? It doesn't seem like it's going to feedback. It's not feeding back like I wanted it to. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and use this one here. And you have to play with this stuff. Like, you can't, it's not going to be perfect every time. It's going to... So I'm just using, here, let me show you what I'm doing. I'm using the knobs on my controller here to change the filter here frequency. Let's set up a different thing for recording over here. And I'm just set up different ones here. Set up a different track here. This and piano 45. Let's go ahead down here. Cool. All right. So now that I've recorded all these, let's go over here and we can listen to these sounds I just recorded. And so you can see them in here. Are we not hearing them? Oh, because it's not solo. There we go. Okay. So make sure all these here. Let me change that name because that's going to drive me nuts. Stop it. There we go. Cool. All right. So I got this. let's grab one of these. Probably this last one will be fine, because I want to get long ones here. Alright, that one sounds cool. And we'll grab this one over here. Alright, that one sounds pretty cool. Play this one here, hear what this one sounds like. Cool. Alright, and then this one here. Oh, this is the whole line. So we can listen to this and hear what it sounds like. It's a 2-bar loop, I believe. I think it was a 2-bar loop, yeah. Let's just listen to this. So I have all that there, but now what I can do, and the whole reason we've taken this long to do all this, first of all, I'm just going to go ahead and crop these. And crop, here, let me zoom in so you can see. If I right click, oh wait, did I get a, hold on. I've got this as cancel. All right, so right click, what this does is it allows me to crop these samples here. And what that does is, right now you can see this one is like all these bars right here. There's all this stuff going on here. And if I right click and I hit crop, it's going to crop it down to just those 2 bars. So I right click, I hit crop, it crops it down to just those 2 bars. And now I've got these samples here. And what I'll do now is I'll throw these into contact. And this is pulling together all the stuff we talked about yesterday. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to grab my contact instrument here, contact, throw it in. I said, throw it in. Come on, contact. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. All right, cool. Here's my contact. I do not need to see the browser. So now, these files here, okay, we got all these. I'm going to drag the first one in like this. And one of the cool things with Ableton Live is you can go ahead and grab a clip and just drag it straight into contact, which I do not believe you can do with Logic or Pro Tools or even FL Studio. I'm not sure about that, but I'm pretty sure that's the case with those. And now I'm going to put these on to their correct tracks or the correct areas on the piano keyboard. So for example, this one here is, this top one here is C5, or C6 rather, so I'm just going to drag it over here until it says C6, like that. And so now if I play my keyboard, let's see. This one here. Excuse me. Where are we? We're over there. So it's octave up. Now, notice how it's getting slower, right? If I go down here, and it's hard to hear, so let me go ahead and turn this one up. Where's our wave editor? There we go. So you can see here, I just turned it up by a lot of dB, like 12 dB. Now the problem is that if I go down the octave, right, that's not sounding very good at all. Let me go back to my scale, make sure we're in C. Let's go C minor here. There we go. So the problem with that is that I don't want it to slow down when it goes lower. So I'll go down here to my source, down here in the bottom, and go to DFD. We talked about this yesterday, and change this into Time Machine Pro, and this is in the notes. And Time Machine Pro is going to take up a lot of your processor power, but it's going to sound fantastic when you play different keys. And now I can play that in basically any kind of, any like, whoops, any notes that I want. And I'm just going to drag these other notes in here as well. So this one here is C5. And grab this and move it over. Move this one down to like here. And then here's the G one. Boom. And here's the other G. Oh, actually, no, wait, hold on a second. This one here, let's cut this, delete this, and delete this one. This one here, there's an overlap here I forgot about, sorry. Here, let's make these a little bit less. And the good thing about this is the reason why you want to have this overlap, like this kind of stuff, is because it'll sound more natural. And also, we'll get a little bit more variety, too, with these different notes. There we go. Boom. Yeah, so we're going to get some variety going on here with the different sample size samples. Cool. And all of these yeah, and I just need to make sure these are nice and loud. So I'll go over here and put these all at 12. Whoa. These at this one 12 as well. Just double clicking the number here, 12 dB, and this one here, 12. Cool. And you can hear there's a little bit of a pop on the beginning of each one, so I'm just going to go down here to my modulation on my amp. Okay, woo baby. You need to chill before you get yourself ejected. Inappropriate comments. Alright, cool. So now, we got this here. And you can hear I got rid of that pop and click. So I'm just going to go over here. And I can play whatever. There we go. Cool. Cool. So now I've got this cool piano sound here. Through resampling. So pretty cool stuff. All right. That is what's up with that. So that brings us pretty much to the end of what we're talking about here today. And this page here is like kind of an end. It's just like a screenshot of a setting, and you can kind of read through it if you want and check out everything that's going on here if you're actually reading into the notes and stuff like that, which I think is pretty important to be doing. But okay, cool. So that's what's up. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording here.